and went with the 20 car and probably come out ahead. But he stuck with Michael, and it's going to work out for him. They, you know, all three of those cars are so strong. DEI really has their restrictor plate program together.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. When the other teams close the gap, you just add, if you're DEI, you just add more cars.
But while these guys been doing this side by side, all of a sudden that 4 or 5 car pack has become about a 12 car pack because they've pulled back to them now.
5 Chevys, 2 Dodges, 2 Fords. And that front 9.
Now Michael's car out front looks like it's picking up a little aero push. He was coming up off of turn 4. It looked like he had the thing chasing it out. Oh, got a car in the wall off of 4. It's on fire.
Oh boy, I don't.
Stacy Compton.
Yeah, the 59 car, and the caution is out.
And he's going to stop short of the safer barrier at the inside of the short chute. So the first caution of the night flies on lap 25.
And I'm going to tell you, David Keith in the 95 car just barely got by. He actually had to come down pit road to avoid another wreck.
Now this is about the time you wouldn't mind seeing a caution, because this is right when the tires start to go away on your race car. 25 laps, come in, get you 4 more, and
just take it on back to the garage. Just take it back to the garage.
And everyone pitting here, this guarantees them they can make it on 1 more pit stop from here.
See what happened here, Darrell.
All the signs of a right front tire going down, but right into that safer barrier.
And boy, that 95 car, like you said, he just squeaked by on the inside, but that was heavy impact.
And Compton was lucky to be running the high line when that happened. Yellow flag at Daytona. This is the NASCAR Busch Series on FX, presented by KFC. Time for KFC trivia. Oh boy. Not who is only the second person ever to have his picture on a bucket of KFC. That would be Dale Jr. But how many drivers have won here from the pole as Bobby Hamilton Jr. goes for the lead?
Up on the outside,
Junior.
That outside looks mighty enticing. The answer to that question is
several.
I would bet it's
okay, 2.
I would have thought it was a lot more than that.
Yeah, and just in recent years.
Man, I don't know.
Junior did it in 2003, and Nemechek did it in 2002, both in the February race.
Oh, well, that's not fair. I'm thinking this race.
Well, we got trouble.
Holy cow.
That is Jimmy Kitchens.
Oh, man.
Hard into the barrier.
Caution is out.
Back straight away. Field freezes when the caution flag waves.
All right, guys, we're done.
Second caution of the night. Comes at lap 43 for Jimmy Kitchens.
Gotta believe the way that thing came out of that.
Sorry about that, guys. We got turned from behind. Y'all had a hell of a race car. We did a good job. It's a shame, but down.
That's Maryland, as in University of, on the side of that car.
I was going to say, the way that thing came out of that pack is probably a pretty good sign. He got a tap from somebody.
And that was his radio with him talking, so we certainly know he's okay.
When you exit these corners, if you're up in a, you know, wherever you are, and you got to squeeze out the throttle ever so slightly, and the guy behind you is running wide open, sometimes you just can't avoid the guy in front of you.
But this is what's good right here. You see how quick the safety workers, the wrecker, everybody is to this car. That's a product of freezing the field and slowing them down immediately when the caution is displayed.
Yeah, we're around, that's the first time back by the accident. And even before that, the safety workers. Let's just see what happened. Up in the pack right there. Didn't see who made the contact.
That's a pretty hard hit head on in the left front. Even though that is safer barrier back there, it's still a hard hit.
Yeah, Daytona, they've installed it around most of the inside of the racetrack as well as in the tri-oval and the outside of the corners here. You see it right there.
$2.5 million worth of safer barriers put up around this place. And it was a really good investment.
There's Jimmy walking to the ambulance under his own power.
There's more. They're still wrecking. Look at that.
A big pile up in turn 2. And it happened well off the lead in about the third pack of cars. As they ran 3 wide and got closer and closer, something finally gave. Casey Atwood's in it. Justin Labonte's in it. Up against the wall, that looks like Justin Ashburn. Ashton Lewis was there. Gus Wasson and the 79 of Keith Mert, who had just gotten the free pass on the last caution, and Johnny Sauter as well.
You know, the interesting thing about that was some of the cars actually wrecked after the wreck already had happened. Here comes some cars that didn't get slowed down quick enough. See if we can see what happened back in here. I think I see a blue car going to hit a green one. Yep.
Oh, that's Fidoa going sideways.
Yeah.
I believe that was Jeff Spraker in the 56. We just had talked about him, gets into the back of him. DW, this is the trouble spot of this racetrack off turn 2. Always is.
Yeah, it is. Well,
Fidoa was lucky to get away because the big pileups out in the middle of the racetrack.
The whole thing about it is, there, you think back to Casey Kane in Cup practice. There's a big dip right down there in the middle of 1 and 2. And when you hit that dip, it upsets the car, and you never quite catch up with it. And sometimes you just get out of control off 2.
Not sure who that is, but he manages to drive right through it all without getting hit. All right, watch the bright green car of Fidoa right there on the right of your screen.
Here comes yeah, that's Spraker underneath of him, and he just pushes up into him. There's Ashton Lewis and the rest of the crowd.
Fidoa drives away.
Lucky man.
But when Ashton Lewis drove to the right to miss it, actually he got into it. Things stacked up behind him, and you see they're still wrecking back there.
And DW, we see that a lot. The car wants to move up the racetrack right there.
Yeah, the driver just, it sucks the air off the nose, and the front of the car takes off, and you can't do anything about it except either hit the wall or the guy beside you. It's a really tough spot right on this racetrack.
Now, there's the rest of it unfolding.
That's why a lot of guys like to run off that corner real high. So you get up high there, you get a little bit better angle. Get down low, it just seems like the car wants to pick up a great big push. And it takes off, and when it does, you can't do anything about it.
Riding with Kenny Wallace right here. This is what it looked like out of his rear bumper back at this wreck.
Well, let's look at it from up above and see how all this unfolds. There's the green car left of your screen. There's the initial contact. Now watch that white car go to the outside, and that's where the log jam is, right there.
There's a couple of, as you come off turn 2 over, there's a couple of dips, and in the front of the car starts bouncing, and into the car on the outside it goes.
The car I wondered about that drove through the grass and drove away was Derek Cope. Casey Atwood was up against the wall in that. Welcome back to Daytona. The NASCAR Busch Series on FX presented by KFC. Slow car entering the pits. Dodgeball. As it were, Kenny Wallace limps onto pit road. Really, he's ripped up the right side of that car earlier. David Stremme right in front of traffic.
Yeah, Larry Hollenbach just about knocked Kenny Wallace into the pits as Kenny tried to get down.
Show you what happened to Crosby here.
Ooh.
And there's where Kenny Wallace.
That's what happened to Kenny Wallace.
The right side wiped off
on the wall.
Now, when Kenny tries to get the pit lane down here. Ooh, that's pretty hard lick. Pretty good lick.
Now, earlier, what happened to David Stremme? The 8 gets into the 1, which gets into Stremme. And right there created something that rubbed on that right rear tire and took Stremme out of contention. That was the earlier damage to Kenny Wallace. Happens right in front of Robert Presley. Stremme wrestles that car down as the tire comes apart coming off the corner.
Oh, he is coming in a hurry. Got some pushers with him.
If they get to the front, this is going to get really interesting.
Just see how much, just look how much difference tires make. Just go around them on the outside. Kind of got that Dale Jr. look. Squeezes through right here.
And look at the help he's got, though. Jason Leffler, he was in trouble when this race started. He's pushing Michael Walker up here. 3 to go this lap.
5 Biffle behind me. I'd be pushing too.
Got to clear
that car's fast.
Clear Hornaday here, which they did get a run on Dale Jr. off of turn 2 over here. Mikey's going to the lead.
Michael Walker.
Yeah, Mikey.
I don't don't think Leffler and Biffle, though, are done with him, Darrell.
I don't either. And Dale Jr. says, hey, where'd you come from?
Teammates tomorrow night, but not this evening.
And Jason Leffler, he is staying glued to that rear bumper.
Look at the hood. Look at the hood on that one car.
Clear,
Got
clear.
it bowed up. Now what does Michael do?
Well, he's in
one
clean
back.
air. The problem is there's still 2.5 laps to go.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Leffler pushed him up there. You hate to leave Leffler out to dry.
Hey, buddy, let's hang on with this thing now. Let's do it together right here.
Down there.
2 to go this time.
Now Biffle is right to the back of Leffler, and here they come.
Boy, Michael's loving this. He's out front. They're running side by side behind him.
It's not over.
On the outside
Now Jason
here,
Leffler, the
outside.
0-0. He's battling for the lead, not with a lot of help behind him. And look at Robert Presley on the 47 on the high side.
Where did he come from?
He has been coming.
That car had 2 wheels in the grass the last time we saw it.
Look at this wad here.
Holy smoly. Hang on to her, Mikey.
Got a good push coming in your line.
I would like to tell you help's coming, but it ain't.
I mean, look at them, 2 by 2 by 3. We'll be coming to the white flag this time.
Come on, buddy. I don't know about this.
14 cars, and any one of them could win it.
It's a dead heat with 1 to go. Michael Waltrip on the inside, Jason Leffler on the outside. White flag.
White flag, man. White flag. Good push coming right here.
I tell you.
Uh-oh.
What? What do you see that I don't see?
Turn 3 is what I see. They're in turn 2 right now.
Boy, this is going to get. This has got.
Clear, clear, clear. Coming back, coming back.
What I see is 16.
He's funny. Oh, man. Leffler got into the back of Mikey and Spunny.
All right, no caution yet. No caution.
Oh, man.
Leaders in 3.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr. He goes to the high side. Leffler's trying to block him. Look at Mike Wallace in the 4 on the bottom.
Leffler went up, and Wallace is going to win it, or is he?
Leffler
It's not over with yet.
Leffler put Junior in the wall.
Checkered flags in the air. No caution.
Mike Wallace.
Can you believe that?
Oh.
Now the caution is out. Which basically means any cars that had not crossed the start-finish line, they are frozen.
Look at that fist pump.
Right
Jason
place.
Leffler battled everybody. Mike Wallace drove through the middle of it to score what is likely the biggest win of his life.
I would say so.
But look at Mike Wallace celebrating inside that car. I'll bet he can't believe how the track just opened up in front of him.
I bet the little guy on the hood is enjoying this ride tonight. Here's
Watch the
Michael.
99.
Comes off turn 2 there. He's got enough room. I hear his spotter tell him clear up. He goes up in front of Leffler. And Michael just was not straight enough when Leffler got into him. If he'd have been a little further down the straightaway, I think he'd have been all right. But just enough to, Michael was still turning enough that it turned his car around.
And that slowed Leffler enough to give Junior a run on Leffler on the outside.
Then he gets down here and...
Yep.
I'm just glad that thing didn't turn over.
You get in that grass, that's the big recipe about it.
Safer barrier. Michael's wife, Bumpy. The sport turns that quickly. Now there's Leffler. Junior's got to run because of Leffler's bump with Michael.
And Leffler's on the bottom, and I mean, he just goes up the hill until he runs Dale Jr. into the race, into the wall.
And at that point, Darrell, he wasn't going to win it. But Mike Wallace had the whole bottom lane opened up for him and went from 5th to 1st on the last lap.
Both those cars hit the wall hard. There you see Mike Wallace in the 4 go all the way to the bottom of the racetrack.
Junior came across the line 17th.
I mean, this is so huge for this race team. This race team has raced a lot of races without a sponsorship on that car.
It's not a miracle. It's a driver who put himself in position to win if things went his way. Mike Wallace drove a smart race. And turn 3 opened up for him. He's going to Gatorade Victory Lane.